Hi, this is me, Nutan, and Malini again. Uh, you look very nice today, Malini. I love that color.
I thought since it's holiday season, a little cranberry against the Christmas tree.
Yeah, I've never seen you in that color.
Well, it's a little jazz up.
Yeah, it is jazz up things.
Because you see me in black. I mean, black is my thing,
No, no, I see you often in different kind of
but
setting,
not so much in
particularly,
bright colors.
no, not this kind of colors. So, actually, that brings me, this is again still a holiday season. Last time we talked about how to be a good guest. So I thought today we can talk about dressing, wearing clothes in terms of when you go to party, who do you dress up for? When you go to work, who do you dress up for? And what kind of clothes we wear depends on setting, but
Sure.
it also depends on um, who we're trying to impress or
Or not impressed.
or not impress. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it depends. Obviously, there are different going to work. Okay, I mean, I know some people, depending on if you're in a corporate job or where you have to have really high-powered meetings. There are certain things. Now, when we have certain meetings and stuff, you dress in a, so I would say, upscale way. When you're going every day to the kind of work I went to, and when I had to leave very early in the morning, I mean, I simplified it. I would have maybe my favorites were a tank, a cardigan, and some slacks. So sometimes I would buy the same thing in three different colors. And honestly, I would have the same if I found something I liked. And most often I didn't change size very much, so it really did work. So a standard, a beige, a black, a navy with different cardigans and a few tanks was pretty much my work. Um, and I wasn't really impressing anybody. I just was doing something was simple. So one of the things is depending on what you have and the time you have, you sometimes just want to have something simple that you don't have to think too much about. You can wear and get out. For me, comfort was important. I don't care who I was impressing or whatever. I really couldn't wear something that felt uncomfortable to wear. Um, but in terms of going out, yes, I mean, I like to impress my husband. I mean, he is probably the one person who really enjoys what I wear. And when he and I especially go out together, I tend to wear more things that he likes. May not exactly be very appropriate for some other setting. Um, Now, if you're going to places where there are older people, like if I was going to something, and you dress appropriately, right? Um, but I do think it's a combination of what you feel comfortable. One of the things is I cannot wear something that only appeals to somebody else, but it feels uncomfortable on me. I cannot do that.
It's good that you brought that up because for me, that has always been a big issue. Um, for work and home, I will say completely separate until very recently. At work, I dressed for the title I had. And it was not even for setting because even when I was working in settings which were not quote unquote high end, I still dressed out of respect to the people I was serving. Very traditional, very non-controversial, simple clothes is what I always wore. Some of it were out of necessities because then I could buy, if I had a classic style, then I could buy last year's clothes for 50% off. So
Or
that's
wear it over and over.
and over again.
Yeah.
So work, I always had classic style. Now, outside work, if you ask me to tell my style, it's loose fitting clothes, plain, black, gray. I love gray, and maybe I actually do like the color you have. That I may wear something on the top of it as cardigan. Maybe I'll have a scarf or something like that. But loose fitting is one of my most important things. I have been criticized by friends,
Not me.
not you, you don't criticize, friends for wearing clothes that are not flattering to my body. My husband always tells me that I look so much nicer in well-fitted clothes. You know, it's the kind sometimes you wear. I wouldn't, because outside my work, I only dress for my own self, what I like. And it's not like I wear cheap clothes. Some of my bad clothes are actually quite expensive. So it's always, it takes a lot of money to look this crappy. But that is something there. And you gave me, I think we talked in one of our other podcasts, but that book you gave me and it changed my life. Was you once gave me When I Will Wear Purple When I'm 60
Oh, yes,
years
you
old.
mentioned it earlier, yeah.
And I think that changed my life. I don't really care, because what I also found, that people who love me will love me no matter how I look.
Of course.
And people who will only love me if I look a certain way, I don't care about them.
I mean, that's true, but who's those? Who are those?
Yeah,
mean,
now
really,
I
honestly.
don't want to tell people that I'm like so maverick that on a wedding, if I go to a wedding, I will wear the kind of clothes I like to wear, like grunge kind of
No,
thing.
you dress well when you
I
go to
dress
wedding,
well,
come on.
but that's out of respect. It's like, as last time we were talking about, respect to the host.
Yes.
If you invite me to a nice dinner party, I will dress up for you. You know, I have been. That's another thing about being not a great host, is a great guest. Is one of the times I had this party and I worked so hard, and my guest came in tattered jeans and faded tops. And I felt like I went all this trouble for you. You couldn't dress up for me. So you do dress up for others. But again, that comes out of respect for the invitation or occasion. If I go to a church, I would dress soberly out of respect for the house of God. If I go to a mosque, I will cover my head.
Yes.
So there are times I will dress for other people, but comes out of respect.
Yes, and that's what I meant. Like, you know, sometimes there are certain, you know, certain places you go which kind of dictate what your dressing should be like, and we all know those things. But you know, the bottom line is that you have to wear things that you feel comfortable in, and if you are saying, how many people in your life do you really want to impress? Very few. There's really nobody at work that I'm impressing. I just want to dress appropriately and make it simple. You don't want to spend, I'm not the kind of person who can spend too much time on anything, so I look for simple combinations. You do want to kind of know what looks good on you. You know, that when, like you said, I mean, you may dress for yourself, but you should feel comfortable in your own clothes. And, you know, if there's somebody that you want to impress, I mean, like I said, you want to impress your husband, then every so often it's fine, but you still have to feel comfortable. You cannot wear something that's so not you just to impress somebody else.
Yes. And
Oh, and I also want to talk about shoes. Okay? And this is my pet peeve. Heels are the worst thing that anybody
ever happened to you
invented.
women?
And I would like to see men wear a heel and walk a whole day and then tell a woman, oh, you should wear heels. Until they do that, I don't want to hear anything.
I would never wear
I
heels.
feel I have tried. it is so difficult for me. When I was younger, my feet were, maybe in better shape. But I got to a point where I said, no. Walking comfortably is very, very important.
It's also good for you.
Yes, hobbling, not able to walk because your feet are hurting, all of those things. Nowadays,
See,
there are
shoes-
cute shoes that are flats or easier to
But
wear.
I think women are learning that. But for me, because I was a very tall Indian woman, I never got into heels. And my husband was not 6 feet. So I never got into heels. But I wore decent clothes, decent shoes. And now I don't even care about decent, I care about comfortable. So some of the 2 cents worth. When you're younger, obviously you are dressing for different reasons. And when you're in a dating scene, it's a different way. You do want to be attractive to the opposite gender and you dress differently. Work, there are social norms of how work clothes should be. But other than that, you really should dress what makes you feel better and comfortable. And if you're the kind of person, people saying you look great makes you feel better, sure, you can dress for other people. But where I stand from, my 2 cents worth is clothes, shoes are things that you do to make yourself feel better and comfortable.
Yeah, and I will say my 2 cents is I do like to look good. I mean, that's just the way it is. But I will not do that at the expense of discomfort, because the last thing I want is things that I feel uncomfortable to wear. So it has to be comfortable, and it has to look good. And the looking good is not really, it looks good to other people, but there are a lot of simple things that you could, and simplicity. It has to be simple and quick. I have no time or energy to be thinking too much about all this stuff.
Agree. Until next time.